Hi everyone, Brian from Bearable Traders here. It is the weekend, June 30th. And this has been a crazy weekend. We had a big party for our friend and companion, Andrew Aziz, who climbed 7 summits, 7 of the tallest mountains in the world, and had a big party for him for that accomplishment on the weekend. We had lots of people in from out of town. We had some of our moderators, Peter and Mike, came in. And a lot of members from our community showed up too to this party we had downtown. It was a great event, lots of fun. So still feeling it in my voice here with all the yelling and partying. So anyway, bear with me. This is the weekend video. We'll take a look at what happened last week in the markets. And then we'll take a look ahead and see what we got coming up in a very shortened trading week here.
All right, so let's start out as we always do with a quick week in review. The big economic event that was happening this week was the release of this PCE price index data that came out Friday. This is the Fed's favored inflation watch tool, and it came in line with expectations. Nothing really popped up, but it didn't drop either. So as expectation, market initially sort of responded favorably to the no surprise scenario, but I think as the day wore on, people became a little bit disappointed that there wasn't actually a unexpected drop, and maybe we're making some better headway on the inflation fight. So still steady in there, about 0.1% month over month, 2.6% year over year. So still not quite at that 2% level that the Fed want to see. Another interesting note, since we're sort of halfway through the year here, the mega cap AI tech stocks, which probably is nobody's going to be surprised about, they've really been pulling the market higher this first half of the year. And if you strip out the gains of those stocks, sort of bit of objective strip out, but this S&P would actually be down 2% instead of being up 14.5% on the year so far. So you can see where the large cap tech stocks have really been pulling this market up with them. So as far as the week goes, we did end up down slightly on most of the major indexes, and surprisingly, the small cap were the ones that actually ended up 1.3% on the week. So maybe a little bit of glimmer of hope there that we'll get a bit of a broadening in the buying in the market. Energy, second week in a row up on the week. Communication services, again, biggest sectors, the gainers, and some of the more conservative or safe haven plays, staples and utilities, they were the sectors that actually got hit the most. So some rotation out of the stable stocks into some of the more growthy stocks. 2-year and 10-year, not a lot of change on either one as it ended on the week. Really, the 10-year really sold off during the day Friday. It would have been looking a little bit different if it hadn't been for Friday. US dollar is pretty stable, and Bitcoin really just bumping along that 60,000 level, which is major support, and we'll take a look at that chart in a minute. So that was your week in review. Okay, so before we go on here, I always like to do a quick plug for my books that are available on Amazon. You can see them there, Profiting as an Active Trader, How to Swing Trade, my oldest book, and my latest book, How to Trade Options. And you'll notice I do talk a lot about options trades in the room here or on the video as well. So if you want to check those books out, they are available for sale. So let's get down and look at some charts here. All right, so let's go over some of the indexes quickly here. You can see the 2-year, we're really trading in a pretty flattened out range week over week. Still hanging around that 4.77 number. Let's see where the 10-year looks. 10-year bumped up a bit here, but if you looked at it on a daily, man, it really sold off on, or at least it really popped up here on Friday. You can see the initial reaction to the PCE index, and then we really popped here. So we actually would have been, if it hadn't been for Friday, we would have been probably around 4.3 instead of 4.4. So yeah, not a great reaction to that PCE data that came out after the dust settled there. The transports, FedEx put in some good numbers. So we had a nice little pop there on the week. It's coming back up, and you can see it's had it's kind of where we expected to see some support. Although this downtrend line is still intact. Still got to get through these moving averages, so we'll see where it settles next week. The Dow, again, kind of a bunch of indecision candles here throughout the sort of last 3 days, trading days, and in sort of an indecision doji on the weekly. But you can see here we've kind of put in a double top, and we'll see if this continues to sort of trend sideways. Again, we're kind of staying above this 20 moving average for the time being, so still slightly in an uptrend. The Qs, again, a big sell-off on Friday. We're looking like we were going to retest highs, and we actually did on Friday, initially on those that PCE number, but then we continued to sell off, as I've mentioned, during the day. So rough day on Friday for the Qs. And again, kind of putting in some topping sort of patterns here. You know, we've had two doji candles that have really been a bit of an indecision. We're really starting to lose momentum a little bit here. And of course, we're pretty overbought when you look at, the stochastics, MACD, and, up above 70 on RSI. So not surprised if we do maybe get a bit of a pullback here. As we get into the summer months, the SPY, kind of the same comments as the Qs. I don't want to keep repeating myself. Again, some topping action here. Pretty overbought, probably due for a bit of a pullback as we get into some of the summer months. IWM, again, same thing Friday, nice pop up, but then a bit of a sell-off during the day. But again, we kind of seem to be hanging around this 200 level, trading in a bit of a range between 210 and sort of 190. So again, we seem to be kind of just stuck here for now. We're back above the 20, but sort of directionless at this point. The VIX, again, really no fear in the market. It's really quite down, even though we did get a sell-off on Friday. It only moved up a little bit. UUP, the dollar, again, kind of just has broken out, and looks like it maybe continues to want to move higher as weakness with the Japanese yen and the euro continues. And Bitcoin, okay, so Bitcoin's around 61,500. I had it lower in my other chart, but you can see here it does trade 24/7, so it is a bit of a moving target all the time. But this 60,000 level is pretty important. What did it get down there? Well, actually, we did drop below there in the last 24 hours. We were down at 58,400, and they bought it back up again. But it's lost this 20 moving average, which is interesting. So that's it for what happened in the markets this crazy week. So as far as current positions go, let's start out by talking about Apple. Apple was a trade I did Friday. This is more of a day trade. But as you know, I've been doing these what they call zero DTE option trades. Zero DTE meaning the option that you're buying or playing is going to expire at the end of the day. So I've been doing this with Netflix, and I looked at Netflix and I've been doing it week over week for over a month now. And I looked at the Netflix calls on Friday again, and the spread between them, the numbers, the bid and the ask, was horrible. So I started looking for other alternatives to Netflix, and I found Apple. So as I mentioned, everything kind of sold off on Friday. So Apple put in what looked like a double top here on the daily chart. It put in a high here and then just started to sell off. So I sold some 215s, 215 calls, and as the day went on, they became less and less valuable and eventually expired worthless. I was short them, so I collected the premium, and basically, that's how I made money on the Apple trade. I did the same thing on AMD because AMD options were pretty, the bid spread between the bid and the ask was also pretty good. So 2 option trades on Friday. If you want to learn more about option trading, talk about some of those trades in my book. That's available on Amazon, how to trade options. And so that was some trades I put on last week. As far as BA goes, keep talking about this one, but still short the 260s. I'm just going to let them expire worthless now. I've been trying to get them filled for a couple pennies, but I'm not going to bother now. But BA kind of looks interesting. It's putting in a series of lower or higher lows. So here's one low. Here's your next low on the pullback. So it's higher than this one. And then this pullback here, higher than the previous one. And it just looks like it's trying to hold this 170 level. So again, it's pretty tight, but you could use options because it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. This is a great opportunity again to use options. If you've got a stock, you can make money on a stock that's really not trending one way or another. So it looks like this level here, I would say 200 is probably pretty strong resistance just because it's a whole number, and also that's where it kind of broke down from here, had resistance here. So, selling, doing butterflies, like selling puts and then buying a put way further down to protect yourself, and selling a call and then buying a higher call. So different strategies that you can use to trade like a stock like BA if you don't think it's going to trend one way or another. Caesars is another one I'm in right now. Got into it. I actually got out of it when it popped up and got back into it, and now it looks like it's starting to break out here. And I think probably this $41 level, which is prior resistance right along here and through these small volume bars. So not a lot of traders who are stuck in this trade looking to be made whole. But once you get up here, there's a lot of people that are stuck in this trade at higher levels. So so I think 41 looks like a good area to exit, or at least exit a significant part of the position. You'll probably get some stalling and some pullback once we hit that level. But overall, nice move up on Caesars. TLT, again, this is the long bond ETF. The bonds actually started looking pretty good on Friday, and then they just sold off all day. So back down to 91 after that PC price index and the following reaction to it. So I'm still short the 91 puts, but they're not looking as good as they did Friday morning. Nvidia's been really topped out at 140-ish. And now it's, it's looking a little bit dicey. I still got a small position in it, but it's down below the 9 EMA now, and looking for it to hold this 20. It's where it sort of held that before, and if it can't hold the 20, we could be coming down to sort of this 114, 113 level. There's a gap to fill here. We did fill it sort of once here, but there's not a lot of volume that's been picked up here, so I mean we could sink a lot more if it starts to roll over. I kind of doubt we're going to, because Nvidia is just such a hot stock, and AI is still the hot ticket. So anyway, something to keep an eye on. Maybe it's just going to consolidate in this range, but we'll see what Nvidia does, keeping an eye on it. All right, so let's look at potentials for the coming week, shortened trading week. I'm looking at this one ETF called Hack. This is a cyber-based ETF, and it does look like it's kind of been, it's been trading in this range, and it looks like it's starting to break out here, and I think it has some potential to run higher. Of course, this is a hot topic too, with all the AI stuff and all the hacks that are going on today. So I think it has some more potential to keep going, and it probably back up to all-time high 67. So be nice to get a little bit of a pullback on it, back to maybe 64 to take an entry on Hack. I'll be watching that one. Adobe is an AI play. Really sold off while everything else was going up here, and you can see here now we had this nice gap up. This was an earnings gap. A lot of people that were stuck in this trade, probably up in this area, were happy to, they wanted to get their money out, be made whole, as they say. So we had a bit of a pullback after our earnings report. because we were in such a downtrend and there were so many people that were underwater in this trade. So I had a bit of a pullback, but now it's starting to get some real interest. We broke out Thursday, continued Friday, so maybe a little bit of a pullback again on this one, back to sort of 540, 535, and I think it could be heading back up to this 580 level, and then maybe even later in the year test 600 again. So that's Adobe. And Intel, I still think Intel's interesting. I haven't pulled the trigger on this one yet, but it just continues to hold this sort of $30 level. I still think it's a pretty decent way to trade this. Could be through options, just selling some $30 options, and maybe even you could even sell some 34 calls with this. You probably may get a gap fill eventually, but again, this would be in a pretty significant area of resistance. So anyway, an option to trade that as well, or just go long and just sort of sit it out. Netflix is another one. Netflix, again, 700 is pretty significant resistance. We kind of double topped here this week. And you can see here right near that 690 level. So we're getting really close to 700. Still looks in an uptrend. It's still above this 9 EMA. So I still think it may just do this for quite a while, consolidate, and eventually break out on Netflix. And last one up, Apple. Apple's had a really nice run, and just looks like, again, it's kind of put in a double top. A lot of these stocks look a little tired after this big run up first half of the year. I don't expect any big pullback, but we are maybe getting into a period where we're going to see some consolidation. And again, we just came down to the 9 EMA. If it breaks down through there, we might actually come down and touch the 20. But I'd be watching for if it does do that, I'd definitely be watching for an opportunity to take a long there. So that's it, everybody, for stuff I'm going to watch this week. It's going to be, like I said, a short trading week, and I'm going to be off. I'm going to be off next week, so I probably will not be putting out a video next week, because I'm going to be away up in northern BC in the boonies, so probably not a lot of opportunity to make a video. So I might get something out, but we'll see. All right, so let's wrap things up here for the week of July the 3rd. There's your index levels with various support and resistance levels. As far as economic events go, as I mentioned here, Thursday, and everybody knows, of course, Independence Day. Thursday is a holiday. Wednesday is a shortened trading day, so I think the markets close around 1:30 in the afternoon. And you got to know that Friday is going to be a really light day. It's going to be quiet, because if people are getting off around noon on Wednesday, Thursday holiday, they're going to be taking the day off Friday to make this into an extra long weekend. So Friday's going to be pretty quiet, although we do have employment data. So that's going to be a big number to watch, because of course the Fed is watching what's going on with employment. And at 8:15 on Wednesday, we get the ADP employment. And Fed Powell is actually speaking at 9:30. So that'll be, I don't know if he'll say anything that'll move the markets. He's been pretty careful. As far as earnings goes, really, we have almost nothing going on. We've got Polestar here Tuesday morning. And another interesting event, which not an earnings event, but something to watch. Tesla will be reporting their delivery market numbers. And everybody's expecting some weak numbers on those, but those will be coming out pre-market as well. It's not an earnings, but it'll be something to watch. And then, of course, we've got Constellation Brands on Wednesday. And, of course, Thursday's closed. Friday, nothing of note. So that's it, everybody. Come and join us on Monday morning. We'll be trading the open. We'll be live on YouTube at 8 o'clock. And then you can stick with us and trade the market open with us at 9:30 for about an hour or so before we shut the thing down. So hope everyone's had a great weekend. We certainly did here. And we'll see you on hopefully on Monday morning. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. Bye for now.